In another 24 hours, we'll be celebrating another new year, 2024. So it has been quite an eventful year, 2023. So just like last year, I'll be doing a conclusion for 2023 pertaining to Dongle Madness and AndyAudioVault in general. And before I proceed any further, I'd like to clarify on two things especially. First, whichever items that you're going to see listed on AndyAudioVault and Dongle Madness in general, those will be purely based on items which I have personally tested and used. I will never talk about anything which I haven't touched or tried myself. So just always remember that. Secondly, as much as I try to be objective when it comes to rating and grading, ultimately I must admit that my personal preference to sound, subjective preference, will always come into play as well towards the final ranking. So we're good with that? If then let's just do this. Dongle Madness. So let's just start with that, okay? And 2023 marks the third year, the conclusion of the third year since Dongle Madness started. And I believe we are stepping into the fourth year come 2024. So let's just quickly have a look, as you can see on screen now, how many dongles which I have covered this year. So based on that, I would say that I have covered 33 dongles altogether for 2023, all right? And as you can clearly see there, the majority of it populated anywhere from 4-star to 5-star, not so much on 3.5-star. And believe me, there is no bad dongle this year. And that's why you are not seeing any new entrants to the 2-star or even 3-star category. Okay, so let's just have a look in overall. Okay, how does it look like for Dongle Madness? You can have a look at this, the full ranking list in the description below. I have listed it. And it is pretty much very clear. We have a lot of dongles this year performing so very well, so competitively very well, that we have 9 entrants in the 5-star category. Okay, and believe me, I have been trying as critical as possible. The reason that they are having 5-star is because they just simply deserve it, okay? And even 4.5-star, many of them are bordering, touching, even very close to 5-star territory. Perhaps not regarded as being 5-star due to 1 point, okay, less than what is required to reach 5-star category, which is at around 87 to 100 score rating, as you can see there. Okay, so let's just have a closer look. How does it look like for me, from my perspective? You see, I'm just going to make it very simple, okay? Among all of the dongles that you see there, okay, the one that I believe being the best of the best this particular year, looking from the perspective of sound quality, presentation, features, package itself, and price, especially price to performance ratio, I have no doubt that after careful consideration, I would say that iBasso DC04 Pro here is the best for 2023 overall in terms of price to performance. Because now, if I'm not mistaken, you can easily get this iBasso DC04 Pro at around $100 depending on which shop you're looking at. Okay, so if you need something which I would recommend very easily, okay, because this thing being super neutral, close to analog sound, wide open soundstage, and technically competent overall, will work with any type of IEM or headphone, be it this big size magnetic planar here, or even IEMs, like what we normally use. iBasso DC04 Pro is an easy recommendation coming from me. Okay, so let's see if 2024 can bring something which can compete with this price to performance ratio. Okay, next, let's talk about my personal favorite and the one that's truly the best, at least from my perspective, in accordance to my taste and preference. Okay, without a doubt, that will have to be Hebe FC6 here. Okay, let me just put it this way. This is the very dongle which I use very regularly. Okay, And the best part about this FC6 is that it is only 3.5 mm single-ended. Yet, when I use this, attach it to this Fostech T40 RP-MK3, one of the hardest magnetic planar around, okay? This FC6 doesn't sound like a dongle. It competes pretty much on the same level with this Sony PCM D100, my favorite, all-time favorite tab. Okay, and even very close to the sort of performance of this Burson Audio Playmate 2. But the only thing which I think this FC6 does not really, perform really well is when it comes to soundstage. Okay, as compared to what I'm getting from this or even DC04 Pro. Okay, so that's pretty much my number one for 2023. In-ear monitor or IEMs. That's pretty much another item which I am covering quite a lot this year, in particular 2023. And let's just have a look at it. So in total there, you would see that I have listed 58 IEM this year alone, which is 8 more than last year. Because if you remember my last video, I did 50 IEM last year. Okay, so anywhere from, all type of technology being covered, single DD, single planar, hybrid, electrostatic, anything, okay? So let's just quickly have a look here very closely. As you would notice there, I have only listed 4-star, 4.5 star, and 5-star. And where is the 3-star or even 2-star? And the reason that you are not seeing them is that because, again, pretty much similar situation to the dongle. Honestly, I can't, find anything which I have tried personally, listened to personally so far, which I would consider as performing below 4-star category. That's how good it is, the technology that we have nowadays, the improvement that we have when it comes to personal audio now at the present moment. We are just so very lucky that, pretty much you can almost expect any IEM being produced in the market right now, they are already operating at a very high level. The foundation which has improved a lot over the years. Okay, so let's just go on and go back to this list there. You would notice that, all right, from the 4-star category all the way to the 5-star category, I have highlighted a few. And I will just simply explain why they are highlighted. Okay, before I proceed any further, perhaps it is best for me to clarify what is my reference, sound reference. Okay, first, this Shure KSE 1500 is still my ultimate TOTL reference sound. Okay, to this day, I'm just gonna declare openly, right? I have yet to find anything that can actually match or compete with the sort of quality experience that I'm getting from this Shure KSE 1500. This is my end game, in case you are wondering. And also, I still have with me here my beloved Tanjim Zero. Okay, now let's just go back to him. Okay, so first, you would notice that there's 2 items that are listed in blue color, and those 2 are Final Audio A5000, which is this, and also this Hades MP145. And why I listed them blue? Because essentially I believe that among the many that you see here, 58 IEM listed, without a doubt, from my perspective, from my subjective assessment, these 2 are the very best, okay, when it comes to price to performance ratio overall, okay. The sort of sound that they produce is the kind of sound which is easy for me to love, okay. I use them very regularly between the 2 of them. But if I must pick an outright winner, I would just simply say that perhaps Hades MP145 edges it slightly a bit more from this A5000 because of the transient speed, which matches very closely to this Shure KSE 1500. Okay, and then there's another very interesting thing there, which is marked in orange, Kinera Imperial Loki. Okay, I'll just admit this particular unit, I didn't spend too much time on it. I borrowed it from Carson during a meetup. I had quite a bit of time listening to it, and it was super impressive. It is not cheap. It is a flagship IEM, total level, okay? But let me just put it this way. It just simply wow me. The sort of IEM which offer the X factor that you are looking at, okay? So the X factor is that, you know, the sound coming from that Imperial Loki is just luxurious, okay? The sort of resolution, imaging depth, and the richness of the sound texture itself. Even, you know, that, you know, short period of time when I had listened to it, it was clear to me that that type of presentation is very hard to beat, okay? Perhaps the only thing that I like more from that Imperial Loki sound is still this Shure KSE 1500. Other than that, that thing is totally on its own class, okay? And then, also, you see there, something which is marked in green, Sivga Nightingale, okay? So why is this marked in green? All right, and this is a personal thing, okay? A special category. If you check my last review, the fact that this Sivga Nightingale didn't even score as 5-star category because I was being very objective then, okay? Because when I listened to it, it just sounded different, okay? It shocked me the first time when I listened to it. The very reason is that because we have a certain trend of, you know, the way IEM are being produced nowadays is that they follow a certain sound curve, like especially Harman getting very popular, V sound curve, U sound curve, W sound curve, you name it. All those popular sort of tuning, a variation of it. But when I listened to this Sivga Nightingale, I was lost for words. I don't know how to describe it. Perhaps it's more like W sound curve, but this is the sort of IEM that grows into you the more you use it. And I will just openly admit, since I received this Sivga Nightingale has been stealing my time, right? From me using this Hidis MP145 or even A5000 or even my Tanjim Zero here. Because, first, I would just put it this way, this is the most immersive sounding IEM which I have tried so far yet, other than this Shure KSE 1500. So what does immersive mean? Immersive means that it, you know, project a sense of inclusion to the music itself. It offers the sort of velvety smoothness which I love, because the type of music that I listen to are typically very energetic, very vibrant, and sometimes outright harsh. Okay, Sivga Nightingale, especially when combined with this something like this PCMD 100, or even this FC6, or even DC04 Pro, or even this, especially this, you know, FIO BTR 15, it just sounded ethereal, dreamlike kind of smoothness. I just love that kind of experience. And the design itself, you know, it is just so very comfortable that I was able to wear this literally for one whole day without feeling any kind of sign of element of fatigue. You know, once it's attached to my ear, okay, it just, you know, feel as if it's part of my body, okay. So, comfort, listening experience, the immersion factor, for the very fact that this is an IEM which reminded me why I listen to music in the first place. I want to enjoy the music, not the equipment, okay? Enjoy the music, not analyze it. And that is very, very important to me. So, without a doubt, personally, I would say that despite all the lists that you see here, from my personal perspective, personal preference, Sivga Nightingale is a winner for me. In fact, for this particular year, 2023. And then, so let's just have a look at some of the other segment here. I have also listed 3 IEM, which is in lighter green. Okay, those are FIO FD11, KZPR2, and SIMGOT EW200. Okay, the reason that they are being highlighted is that because I think when it comes to price to performance ratio and affordability, right, these 3 are the best. Okay, for the fact that, you know, you can get, you know, EW200 or even FD11 or PR2 at such a low price is crazy, okay? For that kind of quality, if I were to reflect back like 10 years ago, okay, you have to pay at around $300 US, okay, for that kind of sound performance. But we are just so very lucky nowadays, okay? We can get those sort of performance from very cheap IEM. I think, you know, FD11 is probably under $30 US now. Same goes with EW200 and also PR2. So when it comes to price to performance, if you prefer not to spend too much money, okay, but still getting the sort of high level quality of performance, everything in a single package, these three are the ones which I would easily recommend to anybody because they are also very well balanced, okay? You hear that? People are already celebrating New Year, you know, playing firecrackers. Okay, let's get back to the business. What you have seen just now, let me just remind you again, those are pretty much grading system or even rating for AndyAudioVault, specific to item which I have personally tested and tried. I will not talk about things which I have not tried myself personally, okay? And again, let me just remind you, it is purely based on my influence a lot by my subjective preference, even though I try to be as objective as possible. Okay, let's just have a look, conclude 2023. Again, I would just say this, we are just so very lucky nowadays, you know, this particular year and the years going ahead. I can only see that things will improve even further, okay. The quality has been so amazing, especially this year, that I am not seeing any kind of audio gears which I would regard as below 4-star rating. And you know, from my perspective, I try to, you know, account for different type of tuning, different type of sound approach, you know. Despite you can say that technicality remains the same, but then ultimately I always mention this, you know, the listener ability to actually react to the sonic responses of the audio gear will ultimately determine if they would perceive that as being good or bad, okay? And from my perspective, okay, I always try to step out beyond my own sound preference so that I will not be judgmental on anything which does not suit, you know, the sort of sound which I like. So always remember this. And my advice to you is that, okay, when it comes to audio, always remember this. The only thing that matters is what you are hearing, okay? Your ears, not me. All right, so let's just have a look. And, you know, I am just so fired up for 2024 because I do expect a lot more coming for 2024. So, you all there, thank you so much for your support and Happy New Year.